Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today's story is one of those moments that completely flips someone's life upside down in a matter of seconds. Because what you are about to hear isn't just a secret, it's a truth that destroys everything you thought you knew. So here's what happened. Willow had been carrying a truth so heavy, so life-altering that it was practically suffocating her. For days, maybe even longer, she walked around knowing something that could completely change Madison's identity. And eventually she reached her breaking point. She couldn't keep it hidden anymore. So she went to Madison's apartment, fully aware that once she spoke those words, there would be no undoing it. And when she finally revealed the truth, that the man Madison believed was her father wasn't actually her biological dad, it didn't just shock Madison, it shattered her. But that wasn't even the worst part, because the real bombshell came right after. Ted, the man who had always been around, always present, was actually her biological father. And just like that, Madison's entire world collapsed in on itself. You have to imagine the weight of Willow was carrying before she even knocked on that door. This wasn't just casual gossip or some rumor she overheard. This was something real, something proven, something backed by evidence. And yet, even with all of that, telling someone a truth like this, it's terrifying. She stood outside Madison's door, frozen for a moment. Her hand hovered, her heart racing, her thoughts spiraling, because how do you even begin that conversation? How do you look someone in the eye and say, "Hey, everything you believe about your family is wrong"? And still she knocked. Inside, everything was normal. That's what makes it even more intense. Madison was just sitting there, scrolling through her phone, completely relaxed, completely unaware. That contrast between calm and chaos is what makes moments like this so powerful. Willow walked in, forcing a smile that clearly didn't belong on her face. You know that kind of smile, right? The one where someone's trying to act okay, but you can feel something's off immediately. Madison noticed it too. You look intense. That line right there, it's subtle, but it says everything, because Madison could already sense something wasn't right. And imagine being in her position. You are just living your normal day, and suddenly someone walks in with that kind of energy. Of course you would feel uneasy. Then Willow started pacing. That pacing is important. It shows how much she was struggling internally. She had probably rehearsed this moment 100 times in her head, but when it came down to actually saying the words, it still felt impossible. "There's something I need to tell you." And just like that, the mood in the room shifted. Madison's reaction, curiosity mixed with fear, because when someone says that, you know it's not going to be good news. You can feel it in your gut. Then Willow drops the first hint. It's about your father. Now think about that. The word father alone carries so much emotional weight. It's not just a person, it's identity, history, childhood, trust. So the moment she said that, everything became serious. And then the line that changed everything. "The man you think is your father, he's not your biological dad." I mean, can you imagine hearing that? Madison couldn't even process it at first. Her brain literally rejected it. That's such a real human reaction. When something is too shocking, your mind tries to protect you by denying it. She thought it was a joke, but Willow didn't laugh. And that's when the fear started creeping in. Madison went from confused to defensive to slightly panicked. She tried to shut it down, to dismiss it as gossip, because accepting it, that would mean questioning her entire life. But Willow didn't back down. She stood firm, calm, but unshakable. And then Madison said something that really hits hard. "Then say it." That moment right there, that's the point of no return, because once Willow speaks, there is no going back. Your biological father is dead. Silence. Not just quiet but heavy, suffocating silence. Madison repeating "dead" shows just how unbelievable it felt. Like she was trying to make sense of something that didn't make sense. She laughed. But it wasn't a real love, it was disbelief. It was her trying to push the truth away. No, that's not even possible. But it was. And then Willow added another layer, that mother had been hiding this truth for her entire life. That's when things really started to break. Madison stood up, pacing just like Willow had been earlier. It's almost symbolic. The roles reversed. Now she was the one trying to process something impossible. And then came the realization that others knew. That part, that's where the betrayal hits hardest. Because it's not just about the truth, it's about who knew and chose to stay silent. Her breathing changed, her voice rose, her emotions started spilling out uncontrollably. Everyone knew except me. That line, that's pure pain. And Willow, even though she was the one delivering the truth, tried to soften it. But how do you soften someone like this? You can't. So Madison demanded proof. And honestly, that's completely understandable. Because when your reality gets flipped like this, you need something solid, something undeniable. Willow handed her the envelope, and this moment, this is where everything becomes real. Madison's hands trembling as she opens it, the room feeling smaller, the air heavier. That's not just description, that's exactly how moments like this feel in real life. She reads, and then she sees it. The confirmation biological father Ted, that's it. No more doubt, no more denial, just truth. And the way she whispered no, even while holding the proof, that's heartbreak. That's her world collapsing in real time. Tears filled her eyes, but she couldn't look away because once you know. Then comes the anger. How long have you known? That question isn't just about Willow, it's about everyone. And Willow's hesitation, that tiny pause said everything because Madison immediately realized Ted knew, and that realization it hit even harder than the DNA results because it meant he had been in her life the entire time, knowing the truth and saying nothing. Imagine that feeling. Every memory suddenly feels fake, every interaction feels like a lie. Did he know? And when she got her answer without even hearing it, that's when the betrayal truly sank in. He knew and he never told me. That's devastating, and Willow tried to justify it. Maybe he thought it was for the best, but Madison's response, for who? Exactly, because secrets like that aren't protection, they're control. And then everything slowed down. Madison sat back now, holding the papers like they were both proof and pain. My whole life, that line, it's not just sadness, it's identity loss. Because who are you when the foundation of your life isn't real? Willow tried to comfort her, saying she's still the same person. But Madison was right. It changes everything. Because it does. It changes how you see your past, your family, yourself. And then she said something that really sticks. I have to look at him now and see my father. That shift from one identity to another, it's not easy. It's not instant. It's confusing, uncomfortable, overwhelming, and finally, after everything, Madison reached a decision. She needed answers. Not guesses, not assumptions, real answers. And the way her tone hardened at the end, that wasn't just pain anymore. That was determination, because she wasn't going to let them keep pretending. This situation is explosive on so many levels. First, there is the identity crisis. Madison isn't just dealing with a secret, she's dealing with the complete restructuring of who she is. That kind of revelation doesn't just go away. It lingers, it reshapes relationships, memories, even self perception. Then there is the betrayal factor. It's not just one person who kept the truth, it's multiple people. Her mother, Ted, possibly others, that creates a deep sense of isolation. Like everyone was in on something except her. And let's talk about Ted for a second. His silence, whether it came from fear, guilt, or misguided sense of protection, now becomes the very thing that damages his relationships with Madison the most. Because from her perspective, he had countless changes to tell the truth and chose not to. And the consequences, they're only just the beginning. Because Madison isn't going to sit with this quietly, she's going to confront them. And those confrontations, they're going to be emotional, messy, and possibly irreversible. Honestly, I can't even imagine being in Madison's position. Like, this isn't just shocking, it's life altering in the most intense way possible. Finding out something like this as an adult, it would make you question everything. And what really gets me is the silence. I understand people think they're protecting someone by hiding the truth, but in reality, it just makes the fallout worse than when it finally comes out, because it always comes out. And Ted, I get that maybe he thought he was doing the right thing, but man, Staying silent for that long, that's a heavy choice. And now he's going to have to face the consequences of that. So now the question is, what happens next? Does Madison confront Ted first or her mother? Does she try to reveal those relationships or walk away completely? And if you were in her position, what would you do? Would you forgive them or would the betrayal be too much? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story hit you as hard as it hit me, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep emotional breakdowns like this.